What's up, world? You already know who it is. It's your favorite director, Maurice Paramore, here with another episode of Direct Your Success, where you are in charge of your own destiny. All you got to do is get up and go get it, go make it happen, and the world is yours. Back with another episode with my co-host, E.Dot.
Yeah.
My brother. How's your week going so far?
Everything's good, man. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? It's been a little rough, but
Yeah.
it's good. Everything is good. You know how I go. What you got going as far as the movies and shit like that? Like, what you got going on with that?
Yeah, finally heavy back filming again, directing again, which is it's a blessing. It's beautiful because I had tapped out for a while.
Yeah,
I remember towards the end of the year, I kind of, like I said, I fell back from filming and stuff like that. I just wasn't really inspired. You know what I mean? Just haven't really been inspired, and I got inspired again out of nowhere, and I just got that energy back, and
yeah.
I was like, okay, now it's time. You know what I mean? Now it's time to work. Now it's time to work. I think I was writing so much last year. I shut down productions, and I think I just kind of like overworked myself mentally. The physical stuff is like whatever, but I really overworked myself mentally, especially when it came to like writing, because I just had so many ideas and I was trying to get them all out. I was trying to make it work, and I just got to a point where I remember I was trying to write one day, maybe like a couple months ago or the end of the year. It might have even been the first week of the year. And I was just like, yo, I ain't got it. It ain't there. It ain't nothing coming to me. So I shut it down.
Yeah, creatively getting
Yeah.
burnt out. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I've had those days when, even with music, you get like, you know what I'm saying, you doing so much that you just come to that burnout. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I don't even know what I want to write. Or I
Yeah.
don't even know what I want to say. I don't even want to know how this want to sound. It get crazy like that.
Yeah, man. It gets that when you got to shut down the engine. You got to know when to shut down the engine.
Absolutely.
But I got my inspiration back, and I was able to finish my new film, Carmen. We got back on set, man. We started this project last summer. It was an idea that just came out of nowhere. I was working with this
That was
actress.
long though. Cause you was doing that joint for a while though.
Yes.
So like how
7, 8
how
months.
long was that? How long was that?
Yeah, it was a process. I mean, we wrapped up in 12 days, but it was 12 days over a course of like 7, 8 months. You know what I mean? Only because like schedule was a little crazy, things wasn't matching up, and I mean, it took a little time because when I first started the film, I didn't even have a script. I only had one scene done because it was this actress that I want to work with, Alexandria. Shout out to Alexandria, artist, actress, all of that. And we've been trying to work with each other for a while now. And I called her up one day. I was like, "Listen, I got this idea. I don't have a script. I haven't touched my camera in 3 months at this time, but I wanted to work with her. It was over the summer. It was a week before my birthday in July, and I was like, let's just get together. I got this idea. It was one scene, and it was a cemetery scene, and you know." Obviously I was dealing with a lot. I mean, my mom had passed that last year, and that type of scene, that type of thing where you talking to somebody that you care about and all of that, and you just trying to figure things out. Like part of that was kind of like what I was dealing with, but that's the only scene I had, and I wrote it for the character in the film. So we got together, we shot that, and then I was like, yo, I like the way you look on camera. I like the way we work. Okay, now give me 2 weeks so I can go write this script.
Right.
So shout out to her because she signed on before she even saw the script, before
Right.
she even had anything that she can say, who is this character? She had one scene, and we just shot it, and it was beautiful. It was dope, man. So that took a little time for me to kind of step back, write the script,
Right.
and then we just kind of shot it a day or two, a week over the course of X amount of months.
So like doing, you shot, several movies. Anything different, obstacle wise, with this movie than any of your previous movies?
Well, it's always obstacles,
Right.
because you're dealing with You dealing with multiple personalities.
Absolutely.
You dealing with egos. You dealing with,
Absolutely.
I want to do it this way. You want to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a natural thing. That happens with every movie. Um, this was a little different because I was working with an artist who I also had incorporated her own music into the film.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little different, trying to find what songs was the right songs to use for the film, what
Right.
songs was good to perform, to do a music video for, because it's really it's about a woman that's climbing the corporate ladder. She's doing her thing in the corporate world, but it's not fulfilling. She wants to
Mm-hmm.
get into her roots. She want to do music and stuff like that. So she's trying to get away from the corporate world and into the artistry.
Mm-hmm.
And so within that, you're trying to figure out like what's the right music. Trying to get going from artist to actor,
Right.
and then turning the artist back on. When it's time to be an
Right.
artist. Like, so it was just like a nice. It was an interesting blend in how to like kind of work within that space, but it wasn't really like that many obstacles, man, because everybody that signed on was locked in. They
Right.
believed in the story.
Right.
They believed in me. I appreciate y'all. And every time we got to work, everybody was game. It was like we had so much fun on set, but it was about getting the work done. You know what I mean? Shout out to my dog 101, Chris Smith. He played another role in here. My man H, he played Amari in here, and he killed it. Yeah, it's like everybody just brung it. But Alexandra, like, I gotta give a shout out to her because she led this whole film. She was in 95% of the scenes. Damn, if not all of them. So she really had to bring it. So it's just you want the obstacles. The obstacle is that you want to make a better film every time that you make a
Right.
film.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I get
So
you.
you look at your old work and you like, yo, how do
Gotcha.
I make this better than my
Yeah.
last?
That's
So that's always like the hardest thing.
as an artist, I think that's always it's always that fight to try to better, always it's always trying to better what you did. You always like, I don't know, I mean, some artists may be trying to compete against other artists, but I don't do that. I compete against what I did
Yourself.
previous. So that's what makes the best work. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Now being in like
Yeah.
how long go ahead.
And keep whatever question you're gonna ask. But that's the thing right there. You don't ever want to go backwards. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want the audience, your fans, to be like, yo, he's falling off. He's going backwards. You always, granted, art is subjective, but it's not that subjective when you're falling off. We all know when you're going backwards, when it's not lining up, when you don't want your best work to be in the past.
Right.
That's the thing for me, you know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to say that, where I'm always looking, and it's not about what everybody else is doing. It's not about the white hot lie. It's not about the trendy thing. It's like, look, I'm always looking at my old work, and I'm like, yo, how can I make my new work better than my old work? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, okay, I love this film. Okay, like, how do we make this better? How do we push the culture? How do we push the envelope? That's always what I'm trying to do. And but trust me, that's not a easy thing to do.
Absolutely.
It's
So
very
so
hard.
like when being that you said that, right? When I notice myself, like, I'm the type of person, like, how would you say, I do the 10,000 hours thing, like, where I'm working on that one punch
Right.
for like 10,000. Like, when you doing your art, do you work on specific things each time? Like, is it something, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I want to get my lighting better on this one, or do I want to get, my depth of field better on this? Like, do you do that, or is it just more like those things naturally come into play? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, for each,
Yeah, each thing,
because I
each component.
yeah, being a fan of your work, I see different things. I be like, okay, I see that this is better on this
Yeah.
film than, because it's like you can't do everything.
No.
You know what I'm saying? All the time, you get better as you go along. So
No.
I find myself. That's why I ask.
No, that's actually a really good question. I'm big on like audio right now. I just
Okay.
invested in a lot of audio stuff.
Gotcha.
New mic. I just bought some new speaker monitors for my studio.
Gotcha.
Bought the Yamaha H S7s because it's all about that mix. You know what I mean? So I wanted to invest to be when we on set, okay, you got to get the best quality sound on set.
Right.
And then when you have it home, when you're on your computer, when you putting it all together, what are you actually hearing? You know what I mean? How can you get the best mix? So I was, I was working off these computer speakers for the last, 3 4 years, and I was just like, you know what? Let me upgrade my monitors. So I ended up getting some new monitors, which I love. They're super raw. They're super
Yeah,
flat, so you
those
can
are
really
those
hear
are
everything. So
stellar.
consciously I've been focusing on I want my audio to be better. Even though I get a lot of compliments for my audio, especially from an independent filmmaker.
Right.
But I'm actually way more conscious now and I want to improve that. Okay, you like it, I want it better. But I think what I naturally always try to get better at is just the cinematography. I
Right.
think that's naturally where my mind goes, and I don't know if that's because I'm just a very visual person, or the fact that I started out in the music video world, right? Where you do music videos. It's not about the dialogue; it's about the music and what you see, right? We try
Right.
to take what you see and try to blend it. This marriage between the music. So I've always looked to tell stories through a visual sense where the dialogue almost becomes secondary. I
Right.
want it to look good first. So I think
Absolutely.
naturally I'm trying to focus on the lighting, the camera angles, you know, and yeah, I'm big on that, I, and I have a very if you ever been on my set, I have a very collaborative set when it comes to just like actors and what we're trying to get out the scene. So
Right.
sometimes I might not even know what I need. Like I know what I want the actor to do, but sometimes I might not even be able to explain it the right way. Somebody off camera might be like, "Yo, whoop de whoop, do it like this." We was on set the other day. Shout out to my boy Chris Cream. We was on No Turning Back. It's another film we working on, and great actor, and he's also an actor coach. So as I'm shooting, sometimes he might be like, "Yo, you mind if I ask, give this actor some pointers?" You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so focused on how it looks.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need somebody to just kind of add a
Absolutely.
little spice to it. You know what I mean? To
Absolutely.
the actors or whatever the case may be. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm just a visual person first, man, because I always want the films to look a certain way. And if they look at the certain way, I know it's gonna feel a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know it's gonna get the audience feeling a certain way. So it's all about design. And like you said, you can't work on everything at the same time. And granted,
Right.
I'm like a one band man. I do so
One,
much. I
one man
do
band.
so
Yeah, I
much.
get you. I get you.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
shooting, I'm directing, I do audio,
Yeah.
I do lighting, I do all of this stuff. People come on my
Yeah.
sets and they can't even understand. They like,
How
yo, well,
you get
how
how
or
you
why are you doing
yeah
all this
it's,
stuff?
and that's crazy. So yeah, how long you collectively been like making movies, like seriously,
Um,
like
yeah, seriously, I made my first film in
it's been a
2010.
while, man.
Yeah, 2010 was the first film that I finished, which
Right.
was Freestyle Love. I was actually working on another film called Love, Dreams, and Music
Right.
that I started in college. That was my college film, and I still might use that film, and I still might use that title. So don't
And
nobody steal that
ain't
title.
never seen that one. I seen that
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, it started out as a college project. I graduated and I started to write the feature film to that, which was 2008. I graduated 2006. And I was trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I remember, shoot, you was actually there that time, man. You remember that
Yeah.
time we had that
Yeah.
first audition, and we
Oh
had two
man.
people. I had this
You
warehouse. I
came a
had
long way,
a
long way.
long way. I had a
Yo.
friend or an uncle that had a warehouse.
Yeah.
They allowed me to do an audition there,
Like,
and we done put
we
out
was
these
there.
posts.
Oh
We
yeah.
we
We
did all
was
kind. Well, it wasn't. Well, it was Facebook, but we ain't
yeah.
doing it on Facebook. But I don't know
Right.
how we did these casting calls.
Yeah, I think we was like putting the word out, word of mouth,
I don't know
and
how.
yeah, it
But
was
we had
like
two people
I
that
think it was
showed
like
up.
two people that showed up. Yeah, I remember
But
that.
we was so
Yeah.
excited. We like, what? We got two people showing up for this film. Yo,
Yeah, I remember that.
beautiful, beautiful, man. It was like
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
dope. But you talking? This is 2007, 2008.
right.
So it's 2024 now, man. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for
yeah,
a long time. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And but it takes time. When I kind of did the reverse thing. Like I came out with Freestyle Love, which was a feature film, and then after that, I started doing short films.
Hmm.
And somebody would be like, "Well, why'd you go from feature films to short films?" I wish I didn't now, but in retrospect, I wanted to, really work on the craft. I really wanted to hone my skills, and I realized that it's very hard. First of all, it's very hard to do a feature film in general. It's very hard. From independent to Hollywood, it's hard to make a film. It's a lot of moving parts. So I figured, okay, you know, if you have a feature film, you may have 30, 40 scenes in it. And as we talk about, like, as you was just asking that question, like, do you focus on one thing? Do you focus on, it's very hard to do a full length film well, right?
Right.
So what I did, instead of trying to master 40 scenes, I said, let me scale it down and do a short film that only has 3 or 4 scenes where I can really focus on the lighting. I could really focus on my angles. I could really focus on directing because I only have a small amount of material to work with.
Right.
And if this one scene doesn't work, I can come back tomorrow and reshoot it, fix it, tweak it. You can't really do that with 40 scenes. I mean, how often can you reshoot 40 scenes? You
Right.
know, so my whole thinking was I come in, I do short films, I own it, I work on the craft, and I take this time because, instead of a 10, 12 day shoot, you only doing a 2, 3 day shoot, you
Right.
know? And any errors you make, you can always kind of like fix it, come back in, and you can see. And it's just a test. It's like a single. You know what I mean? It's like, okay,
Right.
this might not be my best work, but I'm learning. I'm just learning before I get to the big boy again. And that was like my whole thing. And I did that for like 5 or 6 years before I got back into the big, the big the big feature film game. And but I appreciate it because it allowed me to do a lot of film festivals. I won over 20 plus awards for film festivals for best short films, best writer, best director. I done won them all from New Jersey to Philly to Miami, all of these things. And it's very hard to get a feature film in a festival because of the time, and they can only take so many films.
So many films. Right.
Yeah, so a short film allows you to get in more film festivals. I mean, my first film, Devil and Red Wine, I won 5 best film awards from that, but I was also I was able to like take this film and show it in bars and like clubs and like anything that had a screen because it was short. It was 9 minutes long.
Right.
You go in there, you show it real quick, you go about your business. So it allowed me to see what I have and what the audience like, and how they adapted to it, what they how they received it.
Right.
So you can't really make no money off of short films, but it's a great way to work on your craft.
So like when you say these film festivals, right? So now you taking something you cultivated and put together, and now you putting it out into the world where everybody else to see it. Like what's the pressure like doing that when you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like what do you like? Was your first film festival? Let's just say your first one, right? Was you nervous? What was the experience of that for you?
Man.
Your first one.
The first film festival was amazing. I remember it's like yesterday. It was the Garden State Film Festival, in Atlanta. No, it was in Asbury Park,
Okay.
New Jersey. And I already did Freestyle Love. Like I said, I started out with a feature film, but I didn't really consider myself a filmmaker at the time. At that time I was really an art. I was a hip hop artist. Like I was serious into the arts. I was serious into music, and graduated college, did the feature film, but I didn't really think I really knew film like that.
Right.
So I scaled back. I did, my first short film, which was Devil and Red Wine, and I submitted it to every film festival in New Jersey, literally.
Right.
And then I submitted to joints in Florida, like Cali. Like I was trying to send this thing everywhere.
Right.
But I got into my first film festival, it was the Garden State Film Festival. And it was so crazy because understand this was 2012. So I got immersed into the culture that I didn't even really know existed. Because I came from the hip hop culture.
Right.
Where we did the open mics, we did the shows, we did the battles.
Right.
There was albums. So I didn't know what this culture was like.
Right.
And I did.
Gotcha.
We went to the film festival. I went with my boy Thomas Randolph at the time, who was a star in the film. And we got there. First of all, the culture is beautiful. Everybody's suited and booted. you getting to see all these different films, and it was beautiful because it was so much love. Like as much as I love the hip hop culture, the filmmaking culture is a lot different because it's not so competitive in a sense. Like I love that about the hip hop culture, but in the filmmaking culture, when you go to these festivals, it's all about love. It's not really about like who's better, who got the best film. I mean, yeah, you gonna get awarded and all that, but
Yeah.
everybody's like, yo, oh, you got a film here too? I got a film here. Hey, yo, what's your film? Hey, yo, I'm gonna come see your film. Hey, yo, you come see my joint after this. What block you playing? Okay, boom, boom. Yeah, let's go have a drink over there. Oh, you want an award? It's love.
Right.
It's love. And I love that about the filmmaking culture. It's different. It's not so competitive. It's not like, yo, nah, I'm better than you. Oh nah, you ain't on this level. This it's like it's a lot of goofy stuff in the hip hop culture that you just
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
It's just
We
not like
definitely-
that. Like I said, the
Yeah,
filmmaker
we
it
definitely
can be
know.
it could be competitive, but it's a little different.
Yeah.
So I remember it's so crazy. I can't remember the guy's name though, and me, I'm just a fan, man. I love being around my peers. I love being around people that's doing what I do, and I love dope artists from music artists to filmmakers to actors, actress. I just love dope artists. So I remember just going to every possible screening I could go to. You know what I mean? And it was this one guy. He had this beautiful film. This thing was amazing. Like I can't even remember the film like that, but it was I can't remember what it was called, but it was just an amazing film. And I remember the director was there at the time because what's dope about the film festivals is like you could meet the directors, you could meet the actors, you could meet the writers. They're all there networking.
Right.
So I watched this film which I love, and I go up to the director. This is the only time it was kind of like okay, but I understood it. So I went up to this director. And I'm like, yo, hi, I'm Maurice Paramore. I'm the director, Devil in Red Wine. You know, I really loved your film. Like, you know, you got a minute to kind of talk and pick your brain about this film. It was amazing. Come to find out, this guy, his film cost $500K to make.
That's
My
crazy.
film, my little short film, was a no budget. I got it with my friends. We made this funny, this beautiful film.
Yeah.
And you know, and how I know it's $500K because he was talking about it. You know what I mean? So I was like, and he had the guy. He was in there. I can't remember his name. God, I can't remember the actor name. But he was in Carlito's Way. He was a cop in Carlito's Way, one of my favorite films. So make a long story short, I went up to this guy, and he kind of like rubbed me off. You know what I mean? Not kind of like he didn't really like play me, but it was just kind of like, who you?
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
I get
and I
you.
was like, okay, it's cool.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I got
So
you.
we go through the rest of the festival, right? So whatever. Short situation, short conversation.
Right.
And then I talked to some other people. So then at the end of the night, it was a award show.
Right.
Devil in Red Wine got nominated for an award.
Right.
I didn't know at the time. I didn't know at the time, but I was trying to experience the whole festival. So I'm
Right.
like, yo, I'm going to this, I'm going to that. Oh, the award show suited. I mean, we suited and booted. We topped it. I might even
Gotcha.
put the photos from it in
Right.
this joint.
Right.
Suited and booted. Everybody. I mean, we was by the water. It was just beautiful.
Right.
So make a long story short, I go to the festival. They nominate. It wasn't even nominations. They just called out. It was like 4 or 5 people that were in this group. Basically nominated. You just didn't know in advance. That was nominated for the best short film award in Jersey. Devil in Red Wine was one of them. So we just sitting there. We at the table. I'm just happy to be here. That's one of
Right.
those moments like Jada
Yeah.
Kiss. I'm just happy to be here. I was
Yeah.
just happy to be here.
Yeah.
I was just
Right.
happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? And we get to it. We in this fancy little spot. And they're like, the best short film goes to Maurice Paramore, The Devil in Red Wine. And I'm like, mind you, it's hundreds of submissions. It's
Right.
hundreds of people there.
Right.
And little old me,
Right.
hip hop artist turned filmmaker,
Right.
they granted me the best short film award. And I was
Right.
like, oh my. And I say all that to say, guess who was the first one that congratulated me at the award show? It was the guy that had the $500,000 film that kind
Word.
of rubbed me off.
That's
And he
crazy.
gave me this look that was like, I didn't know type of thing. Like, I
Right.
didn't know you was that dope.
Right.
And it wasn't that deep. It wasn't no hard feelings or nothing. But it was just like what I learned is that people that are somebody or that want to be somebody's, they want to be associated with people that are on that same level. And
Yeah.
it was just as simple as, you know what, this is levels to this. I didn't
Yeah.
take anything personal.
Right.
And it's just,
Especially,
it was just
oh
like,
man, like
that's what I learned. It's
like,
levels.
like when you saying that, let's get on that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get on that. People gotta understand, right? When you dealing with entertainers, you can't take things personal.
No.
Cause I'm gonna tell you something right now. Being in entertainment business, you're gonna meet a lot of egos.
Yeah.
You're gonna meet some people that, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna play you. Like they're gonna literally try to do it. It's just part of the game. But like you just gotta how important
Gotta
like
stay on course.
yeah, how important is that? Cause it's like you gotta respect the game.
You
know what
gotta
I'm saying?
respect
You
the
gotta
game.
respect the
It's just
game,
that
like
simple.
cause it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I could tell you I met producers and they just like yeah, like that whole like who are you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then they hear you, or then it's like, oh, okay.
You gotta
yeah,
show
yeah.
and prove, bro.
You gotta show and prove, yeah.
You got to show and prove. And I think we living in a culture, we live in an era now where it's like, you know, that microwave era where
Right.
everybody wants it right now, right?
Right.
And I learned that, you know, people want to deal with people that are serious and are dope. And you have to show and prove, man. You can't just be coming up to people and say, I'm this and that. You know what I mean? It's like I said, I ran up to the guy and I'm like, yo, I'm such and such. I got a nice film, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, who are you?
Right.
You know? And it's not no diss. It's like, bro, I'm doing $500,000 films.
Right.
Why should I be, that's how I was almost looking at it. Like, why should I be talking to you?
Right.
Right?
It's almost like almost your rite of what do they call it? The rite of passage.
passage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of like I gotta like haze you. Like somebody who might be doing it a certain way, they kind of like gotta play you until they see like you really serious. It's almost like a test. It's almost like a test a little bit, but like,
It's like
yeah,
paying your dues,
it's
bro.
crazy. Like that
Paying
happens
your
all
dues.
the time.
Yeah, you know, you gotta you know, it's you're not just gonna walk in the door, man. You know, you
Right.
gotta like show and prove. You gotta let people know that you are dope, and not that you only dope this year, but you dope next year.
Right.
Not only that you got one good film or one good song, but you got 2 and 3, and you got a whole boatload coming after
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool. Like for me, what I love to see when I was just talking about the film festivals was like, okay, you got a dope film this year. But I love when that same dope filmmaker had another film in the same festival next year.
Right.
And he came with another film. And then 3 years later, he got 3 more films that's dope. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to do one thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So the levels is
Consistency.
who going to be here in the long run.
Right.
You know what a lot of my success today comes from for the fact that I'm just still in the game?
What's up?
I'm still in the game. You know what I
Right.
mean? Listen, when I was doing music, it was a lot of artists doing music, right? Most of them artists are not doing music anymore. When
Right.
I was doing music videos, it was a lot of music video directors. Most of them are not doing that now. When I started
Right.
out doing film, it was a lot of people doing film. You know, a lot of people ain't doing it no more.
Nah,
Like,
I
it's
got
about
I gotta
longevity.
correct you. I gotta honestly
actually a
correct
lot.
you. I gotta correct you
What?
on that because there was not a lot of people doing film.
Nah.
Like
Nobody
when
was
you,
doing
I
film.
remember when you stepped into that zone, I was like,
It's a new lane.
that's the lane because actually everybody
right.
was doing videos.
Everybody was still doing videos.
Everybody
I
was
got out the
definitely when
videos.
you got out of that and
Yeah.
you stepped in the film. I said, yo,
Yeah.
you already ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you already had that one done, so it was like.
Yeah.
Let me just skip to something. With what you're saying, right? Because we're actually talking about like consistency, right? Like in the sense, like what now when you go to these events, right? When you see guys like those guys making movies for $500,000, like it's a different respect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, because you then showed your consistency. It's like, and that's how I feel. Like when I go to these producer events and stuff like that, and you might see I might see different producers that I know that we keep up together. It's a certain respect there because it's like they know you. Yeah, you know, even the made guys, like the guys that's done work with certain guys, they looking at you like, oh yeah, he's one of us. He ain't get his dues yet, but he's definitely one of us because I know the music. Yeah. How they treat you now with what you saying being consistent and all that.
Yeah, man. I think my one of my favorite compliments is, I seen where you started. I saw where you started. I saw where you was, and now they see where I'm at. Was it whether it's the work that's got better or the fact that I'm on streaming platforms like Peacock, Xfinity, Tubi,
Right.
that was unheard of in our area.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So the fact that people that see me doing music, the people that see me doing music videos, that now going to my premieres, they like, yo, I remember when you started. I remember you used to do videos for me.
Right.
And now you one of the biggest directors,
Right.
in Jersey or whatever the case may be, or the fact that you just still sticking with it and your work is getting better.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's a lot of respect that goes from there. That goes there. A lot of people. I mean, I get DMs, I get emails, from all types of people, but it's a blessing to me. You know what I mean? It's no ego driven thing.
Right.
Like the fact that people want to work with me is a beautiful. That's a beautiful thing for me.
Right.
Like that means a lot to me. Like even we was talking about last year, I had to shut down 2 or 3 projects, 2 or 3 productions I had to shut down. And one of these productions have taken over, one was over a year and one is 2 years. I got Devil and Red Wine we've been filming for over a course of 2 years. Literally. You would think we were shooting like a Marvel film or something.
Right. Absolutely.
No turning back. I had to shut down last year when my mom's passed away, and we just picked it up last week. These artists, these actors, they don't have to rock with me.
Right.
They could have been said, yo, you BSing on this project, or we ain't gonna finish, I'm moving on. So when I call back a year later and say, yo, are y'all still good? Oh, yo, we shooting this weekend. And they like, yeah, let's go. I'm available. That says a lot, bro.
Right.
That says a lot, bro. Because you could easily be like, nah, I'm off of that.
Right.
Nah, I ain't rocking with Bull.
Right.
But they like, yo, I love the work. They know I'm consistent.
Right.
You know how many, I've had so many actors that have been on films, that been on my films, and they would tell me like, yo, I've been on 2 or 3 other films, and I've never seen the film. I've never got my footage. They be on people. So many people are doing films that they don't even complete the films.
Right.
I got one rule: I'm always going to complete my film.
Right.
That's what happened after I couldn't get done Love, Dreams, and Music. When they came to Freestyle Love, I said, I don't care how good the film is. I don't care if it's bad. But you know what? I'm going to finish the film. And that's always been my motto. Good or bad, the film gets completed. Because just finishing a race puts you so ahead of the pack. And that's why I get a lot of respect now, because 10 years later, now I'm doing 2-3 films a year.
That's the that is the most important thing, is the finish.
Can you finish? Some people,
So man, listen, you know how many projects I have not finished. So I know exactly what you're talking about, because like
that's my motto.
it's because it's like it puts you in such a space. You know what I'm saying? Like when we going back to that creative thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it takes a minute to just find the rhythm of that to complete. You know what I mean? To learn how to complete your vision. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something you gotta learn. Would you say that? Like it's something you have to learn to really complete vision. Because you can have a vision and this is great and this is beautiful and you're like, oh yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. But it's like a lot of times I find myself, I'm learning that more like now to really just make sure I complete things. But it's like I had to get a formula. So like
that's big.
Saying what you're, to add on to what you're saying, or can I get that from you? Like how do you get a formula? Like how did you get your formula in the way to be able to complete your films? Like, because I know that's hard. That's the hardest thing when it comes to artistry.
Yeah.
Is when you start in any type of project is to being able to complete it. So how do you how what's some tips or what's something that you can give to people that watching to like how do we complete these projects? You know what I'm saying? How do we get a formulation of get your ideas completed?
To complete a project, you have to have discipline and you have to have principles because you're going to go through a process when you just don't want to go on anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even now, I've struggled with these last two projects because, again, The Devil in Red Wine was a project that I started in 2022. I think it's my best film to date, but I started it 2 years ago. You know how hard it is to commit to something for 2 years, bro?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I got a motto where, principles are, it doesn't matter how you feel. This is just what I do, right? It's like going to the gym. I don't like going to the gym. People see me in the gym. When I'm there, it's cool, and when it's over, I'm happy that I've done it.
Right.
But I don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's a discipline. It's a principle that I know I got to go to the gym. So that's kind of like how I treat my projects, where I know that most people will not finish the race. That's just what
true.
it is. Most people will start. And I've been guilty of that for so long. You know how easy it is to start something? You know how many ideas somebody might come up with in a day?
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I got this idea. I start this idea. I start that idea, right?
Right here.
We all that.
I got
but
a
it's
million
about
of them.
how do you see it through? You know what I mean? How do I see it through? And it was because it all changed for me with Love, Dreams, and Music because I couldn't get the project done. I was dealing with people that wasn't on the same, they didn't have the same vision as me. I wasn't a great leader at the time. I admit that. I was just kind of running and gunning, but I didn't like the fact it bothered me that I didn't finish the project, and I put so much time and energy into it, and that bothered me. So I said, look, the next project, is it about how good it is, or the fact that it's finished? Because listen, no matter, it's nothing. What they say, a bad finished project is better than a good unfinished project.
Right.
If you keep that in mind alone,
Right.
you'll be all right. And I say all that to say that a lot of times we have our own egos where we want to make something so dope, right? A lot of times we don't finish things because it's not what we want it to be. It's not as good as we want it to be. We know we can do it better, but does it matter if it doesn't exist? How good is it if it doesn't exist?
Right.
If it only exists in your mind or in your hard drive, right? I can have the dopest half-finished project. I can shoot 4 scenes and they're going to be the most dynamite scenes. But if nobody sees it, how good is it? So, you have to decide, like, I think we have these projects that we consider our babies, and we don't want to let it out into the world until they're perfect. I think that's a bad way to look at things because nothing's ever going to be perfect, and it can always be better. So I would advise artists to just complete it, because when it's completed, now you can measure it. Now you can measure how good it is, and you can move on from it. Right? You can't move on from things when you're still stuck in it. So I get to a point now with a project where I think I used to be a perfectionist. I always want things quality, but I'm not so caught up on it that I lose myself. I can't move on. I can't get over it. So what I do, I set a schedule. Okay, my films, they rarely go over 10 days of shooting. Right. Some might go to 11 or 12, but that's it, right? So once I get to 10 and I may need 2 extra days, I wrap it up. Right. After that, I got to move on. I can't stay here. So this is the best that I can do at this particular time, and I'm okay with that. Right. Anything that I've missed out, I've learned from, I apply it to the next project. Right. I don't apply it to this project. That's where most people go wrong. They want to take all their lessons and they want to apply it to the same project. Mm-hmm. But you can do that for the rest of your life. You can tweak a project, fix a project, do it different for the rest of your life. But see, the problem with working on a project forever, nobody gets to see your growth because the growth is all being put in the same pot, right? It's like making a meal. Okay, I put all the ingredients in this pot. I did it. Okay. Okay, I can fix it in this pot and serve you and say, all right, I'm not going to serve you until I make this perfect. Or I can serve you a decent meal and then I say, you know what? Next one, I'm going to kill you on it. And then I work on it the next time and then I give you the bomb meal. But see, now the audience, now the person that's eating the meal can see the growth. And the problem with most artists is they don't allow themselves to grow because they'll keep tweaking the first project.
Right.
No, the lessons is not supposed to be put into the first project.
Right.
The lessons are supposed to be added to the next project.
Right.
That's the big thing.
And I to add on to that, I think sometimes also one thing I've definitely put in to my working habits and all that now is I had to get extensions of myself. So what I mean by that is like I had to like cause I can engineer,
Right.
I can make the beat.
Right.
You know, I can even write if I had to. You know what I'm saying? I
got a couple
I got a couple
crazy
styles.
album.
I got styles, and I've been doing this for a long time. So I got styles to be able to do whatever I need to do. But
Right.
I think the one thing that really has helped me, because the reason why I asked, and then I'll get to my point. The reason why I asked is because I noticed you do everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, me thinking, listening to you and actually seeing your films, it's like, it's crazy because it's like, yo, this dude does the sound, he does everything. He literally does everything. You doing it in a certain amount of time. And like, to me, that's, I'm so creative, like I'm so out there that like, that's what will cause me not to finish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because my mind is like,
Yeah.
every area, you know what I'm saying? So what I had to do was I had to get an engineer that loved mixing just as much as I love making beats and mixing, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to find an extension of myself, which is, you know, find somebody that I could bring in and be like, look, he mixes the records like I would mix them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I added, and that has actually really helped.
Yeah.
Like, you know, anybody that's going through that, sometimes you gotta add people to the mix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that way you can get it done. Like, you know, and I noticed instantly things was getting done faster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know what? Doing it all myself sometimes, you know what I'm saying? That's a very hard thing. That's a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of creativity. So it's like it can kind of overwhelm you, and then it makes you like, you know, you can't finish.
Yeah.
Where it's like I said, now that having that extension is like, oh, everything's sounding good. Everything's sounding the levels I needed. Boom, like, you know what I mean? I'm coming getting these sessions done. You knocking the sessions out. I'm getting mixes back faster.
Yeah.
Where it would, like, if I mix it, it would have probably took me a while because I'm like, nah, this got to be this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where this person is like, they got it, and they got it where, you know, they basically got it to levels and everything that I would have had it.
Right. You know what you're doing? You getting out of your own way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what you're good at, and you know what you kind of like procrastinate about. You know what I'm saying? Or you know it's this one element that's going to kind of take you off your efficiency game. You know what I learned. You know when you doing films, and now that you know I have budgets and I pay actors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have to be very efficient with your work.
Right.
And you can get in your own way, and you have to know, how do I be able to get this done at a good amount of time and great quality, right?
Right.
But you still have to be able to move on. And when it's business, you have to move on. I can't bring actors in for 30 days.
Right.
You know, I'm paying y'all daily. I can't bring you in for 30 days and we're gonna get it just right. No, we gotta get it right in this amount of time, and then we have to just move on.
Right.
We have to move on. So if it's I gotta bring in a sound guy, or I have to bring in an editor, or I have to bring in a lighting guy, whatever it is, to get the project done on time, under budget, and efficient, then that's what you have to do.
Right.
So I respected what you saying, where it's like, I know I had to bring in certain people for certain aspects,
Right.
to get it done the right way, the way you want it, because you know, for that one thing, because like you said, like whatever your one thing is, my one thing is might be cinematography,
Right.
and I might be stuck on that cinematography forever trying to get it so right. Where I
Right.
might be like, you know what? Let me bring somebody in. He gonna have a certain eye. He gonna bring what he bring to the table. It's cold. It's good. It's good enough. Okay, we moving on. And then you just take it from there. So you just
Right.
gotta know who you are, what type of leader you are, what you trying to get out of the thing, and move on, man. But whatever is in your way, figure out fast how to get out of your way,
Right.
because we are. That's why I call it the direct success. We are in control, and if you are in the way,
Right.
you have to get that ego out the way and say, listen,
It's
I'm the
okay.
problem.
It's okay.
It's
Trust
okay.
me.
I'm the
Listen,
problem.
you talking to a person that you know what I'm saying.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying. You know me, man. I'm everything. You
You
know what I'm
got
saying.
it.
So it's like, but
Yes.
you have to like.
You got to
It's
know when you're the
okay.
problem.
It's okay. Like I said, don't you when you do find that person, consider it like an extension of yourself.
Right.
Like you might have to go through a couple people to get the right person and be like, yo, he sees it exactly how I see it.
Right.
This person that I hired, they understand the vision.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. I think that's the biggest thing. Like we can move on to that. Actually, dealing with people that really understand it. Because I remember you said actors and all that. How important is it for a person, people that you're working with, to really understand the vision of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to put together?
Man, I think the collaborating on anything is just very hard. You know, um, when I was doing music, I would have a few producers like yourself. Other than that, I would do most of the stuff myself, right? It was a less collaborative effort than it is with filmmaking.
He had some hits, by the
I
way.
had a
I ain't
couple
gonna lie. You had a
joints.
couple joints.
Yeah, I might give y'all one more before I retire officially.
He had a
You know
couple
what I
joints.
mean? I still want to do one album at 50 years old. I still got one. I still got to do one at 40, but
I'm
I
there
think
for it. Make sure
yeah.
I can get that call for it.
We got to do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always been a kind of like a solo kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? And when you start doing films, you realize like that collaboration gets even greater. It's bigger. You know, so how do I get 10, 15 people on the same page? It's very hard to do.
Absolutely. Can't even get, it's hard to get two
Very
people, three people in the room.
It's hard to
So
get
yeah.
2 or 3 people in the room. So how do you get 5, 10 people to believe in the same project, the same
Right.
vision? I don't know. I haven't really figured that out, because I don't really like. I just like, okay, this is my vision. This is what I do. I think to be a great leader, you have to have passion, and people need to be able to feel that and see that. You know what I'm saying? And people need to know that, all right, if I'm going to go on this journey with you, it's got to be with somebody that has passion, that I know that knows where they're going. And the only way people are going to know where you're going is if you've been there before, right? You've been on this journey before. So if I'm going to go on a hike with you, I want to know that you took this hike before.
Right.
You was on this trail before. Or if not this particular trail, you've been on a trail like it. And
Right.
the only way that happens is if you do it again. It's a time thing. A lot of people is not going to go on a journey with you on your first run.
Absolutely.
So the reason why people are rocking with me now is because Maurice been doing this for 10 years.
Right.
15 years. I had my
Right.
company alone for 15 years.
Right.
So people see me winning awards, 20 plus awards, Peacock, Xfinity, Tubi, film festivals all over the world. It's like the track record is the reason why people rock with me. So it gets a little easier to lead because people know what you're doing, they know what you're capable of, and they see your work. So I think you need to start there. I think some people just get so caught up on wanting to be the boss, wanting to be the leader. I don't even really think about those things. I have an idea, I have a vision, and I welcome people to take this journey with me. And the reason why a lot of people do it is because I've been doing it for a while, and my track record says he did films before, and when he does this film, guess what? He's going to complete the film. That's one. Two, the film is going to be decent. It's going to be quality. You're going to get your reels. You're going to see it in the theater. You're going to see it on a platform. You're going to see this film come to fruition. I'm not just telling you to come on set and then I go off into the wind. No, you're going to see your film and you're going to see yourself on the screen and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. And that's my thing, to make sure that, my first goal is to make sure the actors is happy.
Right.
Second is make sure the audience is fulfilled.
Right, the professionalism.
Let me ask you, when it comes to music, when it comes to producing,
Yeah.
you may have a track and you trying to get when you talk about leadership, you're trying to get an artist to believe in the vision that you created for this track, right?
Right.
You may have a hook, you may not have a hook, but you got a vibe that you creating with this record. What is that? What is those conversations? What are you looking to kind of direct the artist to kind of come on board with this production that you already created?
A lot of times I have to, like, I'm gonna be honest, like sometimes see I've rapped, I've done all, sometimes I gotta fight for those situations, you know what I'm saying? I gotta kind of get somebody to believe because I can show them as well, like, you know what I mean? Look, this is how you can approach the track, or this is how you know what I'm saying? Like, I would say, honestly, kind of got to come with an idea already. Like, you kind of almost got to pre-make the idea a little bit. Even if you can come up with the lyrics, or you come up with a melody, whatever you do, you kind of got to show that artist. Because sometimes artists don't get it until you, like, kind of show them. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when it comes from a producer's mind.
Right.
Like, if I'm talking to another producer, they might get it right away. Because I can say, oh, this is like so-and-so, or this is like, I can point to, oh, this is something maybe like a Kanye bar, or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm trying to describe to another producer, they get it right away. But an artist, they're not in a producer's mind. Like, they find it crazy what we think about. You know what I'm saying? I've had artists like, yo, how do y'all come up with the stuff y'all come up with? But it's just like, it's kind of like, sometimes God-given, it comes to us a certain way. Like, the melody comes to us a certain way. The delivery of how it needs to be comes to us a certain way.
Right.
And we just know it and we feel it and we vibe off of that. And so I would say a lot of times, you have to kind of talk the artist off the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you might want to do it this way because this, that, and the third. Or this is a trick I do. Sometimes I go, let's do it your way, and then let's do it my way. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that works out.
Yeah.
That's a trick I learned. Like, do it one way your way, and then do it one way my way. And then sometimes it comes out. You gotta have these little tricks, you know what I'm saying, sometimes to get people to understand.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
I think that kind of aligns with like filmmaking when it comes to directing actors and stuff like that. I'm like, listen, we're gonna shoot what's on the paper.
Right.
We're gonna shoot this vision I have. We got time. We could try this. We could try that. We could try your way. You want to do something? Sometimes I'll be like, all right, I got what I need. Try something different. Take the character somewhere else.
Right.
All right, let's get that version too. Okay, I wanted this a little comedic. Now I want it to be a little more serious. Okay, let's try both versions and we'll see what works. You know what I mean? With filmmaking, it's all time, man. It's all about the time crunch because you never got enough time. That's the thing with filmmaking, that I learned that's a little different than like making music, because when I was making music, man, you just be in the studio all day.
Yeah,
man,
you got the right situation, the right chemistry going, the right beat, the right producer,
you can just rock.
You could just flow. Y'all can do effortless things. Like,
you can do that.
It's effortless.
Filmmaking is not really like that, man.
Nah.
It's such a time crunch. You renting out locations. You got artists. You got actors, actress. You might have 4 or 5 mugs. In the scene, you paying them all by the day. Then you paying for the location and you feed them and all that. So you ain't got a lot of time to figure it out. Yeah. You have a small amount of windows to like figure things out. So you have to be sharp on your feet. You have to be very on point.
Strategic.
Yeah, you gotta be very strategic. You gotta kind of know what you're doing way before you get on. Set is not the time to kind of be figuring things out.
Right.
Yeah, you might be able to change your little
I can
things,
see that. Yeah.
try this and that, but you can't get on set and then be trying to figure it out. That's the biggest difference with music.
Yeah.
Where I think music is all about getting each other in a room and the magic can be created there.
Right. It
With-
actually gets better.
yeah.
Like I mean, honestly, that's why I really like producing with the people there. Because it's like I can feel, like you can feel the vibe. You can feel, like I can understand why, like say like an artist like Biggie, why he had like they used to say he almost had like a party before he did his record.
He's creating a vibe.
Yeah, he's creating a vibe. So it's like when you in that room and all the musicians or all the people are there as a collective and just people are vibing out, the music comes so easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can see your point where it's like it's not the same in that aspect.
No, I think that's dope though. They're totally different beasts, but they're dope. Both of them, with music, the magic is created in the room. It's created when you put the two actors together. The two artists together.
Right.
Film is a little different. The magic comes a lot of times beforehand. You got to build that chemistry up.
Right.
The script has to be already set. The locations, the vision, all these things have to be set, and then you get the director and actor together, and you create magic before you actually get on set, and then it's there. Once you create the magic, once you create the foundation and the space to be creative, then when you get on set, it's easy, But film is not the place to kind of figure it out on set like you can do with music, and I think that's the beauty of both of them. They're so different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you would think like on film, it's like, you mean you just show up on set and then y'all start create magic?
Yeah.
That's music. You can't do that with film.
Right.
But I love the fact that a producer and an artist can get. They don't even have to work together before.
Right.
They can get on set,
Right.
feel each other vibes. Okay, this is what you're doing with the beat. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do with the music, and then y'all kind of like figure it out from there.
Right.
That's that type of improv. We call that improv in filmmaking. That's amazing.
Right.
To be able to come up with stuff on the spot
Right.
and stuff like that. I was lucky enough to do that. A week ago, I was on a set with on a recession. We started the season 2 for recession, and I had my actors, these kid actors, my stepdaughter and her friend,
Right.
and we created a scene on set. We created a scene on set. They wanted to act so bad. I mean, my daughter's already been acting and stuff like that, but they wanted to do a scene together. So I was like, okay. I gave her a line. 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 And you know what? They remembered the lines. We didn't even write anything down. And then we went on set and we shot it. It was kind of like the music process, but
Right.
you really can't do that every day. You can't do
Right.
that, for a whole film. But it was kind of cool to be creative like that. But yeah, I respect that. You know what I mean? That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any anything you want to leave our audience with, man? Any jewels or advice or anything from today's episode? You know what I mean? You just want to bless them with.
Figure out. I think direction is way more important than speed. I think a lot of times we want to run and gun and we want to get there so fast. And sometimes it's very important to be the first. But when you're talking about a journey, when you're talking about the long run, it's really not about how fast you go. It's about what direction you go. You know what I'm saying? Because you, like DMX said, you can be headed nowhere fast.
Right.
I'm running and gunning, but you're going in the wrong direction. So I would tell people, figure out what you want to do in life. Figure out the direction. Because what I learned was, when you're going, when you know where you're going, you can cut out all the fat. You can cut out all the things that don't matter no more, right? If I know where I'm going, if something does not align with where I'm going or my vision for my life, it's easy to say no to, because this does not align with the life that I'm trying to live. This is not going to align with the road that's going to take me to get to this destination. So, I would say take time to like figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, and who you want to be. Because when you know these things, the work gets a lot easier. It gets a lot easier.
I can see that.
Pun intended. We talk about improv. You really can't really improv your life. You got to have some kind of direction. You got to have some type of plans. And the more you know where you the more you know about yourself, the more you know where you're going, how you want to do things. You realize that a big person on law of attraction, you start to attract the things you need when you know where you're going. You know, if you got to go to New York, it's easy to catch a ride. To find a passenger. How many times you call somebody on your day off and you're like, "Yo, what you doing?" You like nothing. Like, you want to take this ride with me? Like, where you going? I'm going to New York. Oh, I'll take a ride with you.
Right.
But if you say I don't know where I'm going, you be like, Nah, I'm good. You don't know where you're going. Why are we taking a ride? So know where you're going, figure it out, and network, man. And build with others, but think about what you can do for others. And the more you can do for others, the more you will get in return. You know what I'm saying? I would say that, like, go help out on set if you're a filmmaker. If you're an actress, go help out some other actress. If you're an actor, go help out some other actors. If you're a producer, just ask another producer, what can I do for you? And I think in the long run, you will realize that people will go out their way to help you in return. So that's pretty much my jewels for the day.
Solid. Solid.
Anything else you want to close them out with?
Nah, man. Just I'm straight. You closed it out pretty much with, I don't get no advice.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? You get to
Go do it, man. Don't talk to me about it.
Go do it. Go do it.
Go do it. That's my advice, man.
Nah,
Go
that's
do it.
love. That's respect. Before I close it out, I just want to say, make sure y'all go to Tubi, go watch my films. Type in Maurice Paramore. I have 5 projects on the platform doing a thing from films to a series. I also have the Regrets on Peacock and Xfinity. So just go show love, man. If you on Tubi, check out some of my films. And yeah, just show love, man. We just got a lot of great work. Putting a lot of actors and actresses on, and I'm just happy to be, one of the leaders of the new school, and we got a lot of great things coming to fruition. It's gonna be a really great year. I advise y'all all to just go and get it and make it all happen, because whatever you're trying to do will happen if you just lock in. All right,
Right.
so let's tap in. Had a good time. Y'all have a good week, and we're gonna see y'all in the next episode. We're gonna give y'all some more jewels. And again, make sure y'all like and subscribe. And thank y'all for rocking with us. We
Peace.
out.
Peace.